Hey ladies, how you doing? So excited to be able to bring you a hairstylist expert to be able to speak on the tips that we're all wondering about, which is cutting your bangs and taking care of the gray grow out. So Andrea, girl, thank you so much. Can you just take a moment, hon, to just introduce yourself, tell us about your salon, how long you've been in business, and then we'll dive into some content.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm Andrea Harris. I have been doing hair literally since I was 16 years old, and that's been 34 years now. I know nothing else. It's my passion. I love connecting and creating and just enjoying life with my clients and creating beautiful styles along the way. And this is such an awesome opportunity to kind of connect with more ladies about how to get through this time, which is, it's been a struggle for a lot of us, especially those of us who have really long roots.
Yeah, for sure. Guys and gals, right? So,
Right, that's true too. Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
this is good. And so Andrea Lee Harris Studio, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, awesome. And which city are you located in?
I'm now in Federal Way.
In Federal Way. Okay,
Yep, yep.
awesome. So let's dive in. So cutting of the bangs. All right. So talk to us about
What a great,
cutting of the bangs.
first of all, what a great fringe you've got. I can see that you've done a sweep over, but even with you just pulling it down a little bit, oh my gosh, how beautiful would that be with a dramatic straight fringe? I vacillate between that that cool straight fringe and then something a little softer and sweepier when it grows out. And I'm not committing to cutting my own bangs today for you as a demonstration, but I will walk you through a safe way of doing it. If you're looking for kind of just getting them out of your eyes because you don't really like to do a side sweep, if they don't stay out of your way or whatever, there's a right and a wrong way of doing it. So I'm going to tell you both ways that a couple of ways of the right way and definitely the wrong way of doing it. So the wrong way to do it, we'll start with what not to do. What not to do is do not comb your hair straight down and then take a scissor and cut horizontally. Don't. And the reason why is because number one, it creates a really hard line. And even if you want a stronger fringe, you don't want to cut them with on a horizontal. All right. You want to, now I'm going to tell you what to do.
Okay.
And also don't pull hard when you're, I wish I had two hands to work with right now, but don't pull down really, really hard because you could have a cowlick like I have. And the second you let go, that little sucker's going to stick straight up and it's going to look a little bit like maybe your kindergarten picture. So when your dad or mom cut your hair.
I think we all have that. Yeah.
Nobody likes that look. So the best thing to do is to go ahead and grab the amount of fringe that you want. I've got a little fuzz in my comb. Sorry about that. And I've got some hairspray on there, but grab a little bit of that. And then what you do is you do what's called a point cut. You cut right into it like that with a scissor, okay? Moving right along. And you can always go back and trim out a little bit more, but you just don't ever get overzealous and start cutting on the horizontal. You will regret it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if someone doesn't have the little short scissors that you have? Like we're talking, maybe we have those
sewing scissors,
staples, office scissors.
It can't, truth be told, any port in a storm is what there's things that can be done when you're using even a household scissor. You're still going to want to cut with the points. Now, these are obviously my, professional shears. They don't have a sharp point. They're dull on the end. The blade is what needs to be sharp. So don't worry that you don't have, it's the blade that's doing the work, not the point. It's just called a point cut. Because it's you're pointing and then cutting. So that's going to create a real softness in the fringe. So it's not going to have that real blunt line. And then you're not going to risk when you let go having the, multiple elevations. So
Okay, love that. And I think that's what so many people are struggling with is like the bangs in the eyes, right?
yeah,
And I
right.
think people are working with it and doing their own, but this is awesome. This is awesome. Anything else we should
Yeah,
know?
yeah, there's another way to do it. I have a couple of clients that wear what's called a curtain fringe or a curtain bang, and they don't have a straight. Even if you're cutting on the point, you're not creating a real straight line. It's a soft line. So I will walk them through really what's a slide cut. And really what that is when you open your blade and then you sort of you can either move it a little bit or just slide it down, and just to soften around the face a little bit, taking a little bit of hair at a time. Just be very, very careful to not take too much, because obviously once you've done that, it's a waiting game till it looks good again.
Mm-hmm,
If
mm-hmm.
you can, I generally say, this is all for people who are willing, and it's worth the risk to try something at home if you just can't wait for your stylist. I get it. There are times that you just can't wait, and this is definitely trying the best of all of us. So
Yeah.
if this is just not a recommendation, hey, try this. I'm saying if you can't wait for your stylist, then by all means, these are some suggestions, professional suggestions you can follow.
Okay. And then what should we have like down? I'm assuming we're doing this in the bathroom
Yeah, in the
under the
mirror.
sink. Do you just have a towel? And then like, what's the best way to like, do we just go outside and shake it out? Do we put it right in the water? What do you usually do?
Well, here's what I do, because I really honestly cut my fringe at home most of the time. I
Okay.
do it over my bathroom sink, and then I just take toilet tissue and pull it up out of the sink that way.
Okay.
I don't want to clog the sink and that kind of thing. You could take it, put it in a towel, but why mess up a towel?
Why do it? Why do it?
Exactly, just throw it away.
Yeah, I did not take that advice because we hadn't chatted yet, and I had cut my son's hair with the shears, or no,
Oh,
the
the clipper,
clipper.
the clipper. Mhm.
And I just did what I see, and I put a towel around him. Or
Right.
y'all use a cape, I use a towel,
Yep.
and then I shook it out, but then put it in the wash. Oh my gosh, for like 4 days, hair
Yeah.
was coming still out of the
Mhm.
dryer with
Yeah.
everything we'd put in
Right.
there, in the
Mhm.
vent. And I was like, oh great, I guess I
Yeah,
should have
no,
done
that's a no-no. So if you can
that.
improvise with some sort of polyester robe, if you have one of those, like a shiny, not a rather a satin, not polyester, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
Not anything cotton, because cotton, that fiber will grab and not let go. So
Yeah.
even the towels that I have at the salon, I don't get cut hair all over those.
Hmm.
I mean,
Okay.
you can hardly avoid it a little bit, but
Yeah.
certainly don't. Yeah, that's you're gonna be hurting.
Saran wrap if you have to.
Oh, right, there you go, or a garbage sack, whatever works.
Ooh, I can see it now. 30-gallon trash bags designer. Got the yellow
Yeah,
strips
why
right here.
not? Hey, why not?
Okay, so
Ugh.
let's talk about the gray grow out then.
Oh yes.
Tips.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, here's the deal. So you and I talked on the phone the other day, and I did confess to you that my grow out is about an inch now. And I was tempted to color it before we got together, because I wanted to put my best face forward, my best head forward. But then after you and I spoke, and I started thinking about it, I thought, I think it might be a little more relatable if I left them be. So I did leave them be. However, I did use a little bit of my temporary root touch up today, just as a demonstration, and I can separate my hair a little bit so you can see what I've covered.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
right now it probably doesn't look all that bad, and I know it's hard to see in a Zoom, but
Oh,
you can kind of see a shadowing of the gray. Now, the only reason it looks gray right now and not white is because I did use root cover. So this is with root cover. This is how white my hair is. So I'm
mm,
going to separate a little bit just to give you a demonstration of how white. I've got a little hairspray on here. So how about if I go to the mirror and do it so I don't
yeah,
like,
perfect.
all
This is
right. So
great.
that do you see how white
I
my
sure
hair is?
do. Sure do. Yep.
I like to say, hi, Mom, when I see that, because my mother had gorgeous white hair and I
Oh,
inherited it.
beautiful.
But I'm not ready for my hair to be white yet. So I'm going to be coloring for quite some time. But in the meantime, while we're in this time away from our colorists, there are options. And so I generally have recommended to stay away from any kind of store-bought color. As a professional, and I know that this is a little bit controversial, there are some colorists that are, putting together color kits. I won't do it simply because it's against the rules, but that's what I'll say. However, I have options for temporary root cover, and one of the options is a spray. It's a spray, and I think you've got one too, Lisa, don't you?
And this just over at Target.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Is it called Gray? Oh, that's L'Oreal. So there's one years ago used to be called Gray Away Spray. It was on As Seen on TV. I don't know if anybody remembers that one. That was my favorite for a long time because none of the professional lines offered anything that was temporary. Now that's all changed. There are many, many different professional color lines that have temporary covers. So what the benefit of that is that whatever color line your colorist is using, there might be a temporary color offered that would match your color best. So that's something to ask your colorist if there's an option. I know that there's a lot of, I personally have one, and a lot of stylists and colorists are using. It's called Salon Interactive. And that's where our customers can actually go on and find a temporary root color that we suggest, that we recommend. And then you can buy it directly from Salon Interactive, and your colorist will still get a commission from that. So that's a way of supporting your stylist colorist right now and getting the temporary root cover that you need. Another one is a powder, and this is the one I used earlier. Now it's not a super great match for me, but it was kind of the best thing I had for right now. I can color my hair. I have my hair color here, but again, I mean, there's something that's happening with me right now that's not letting me do it. And I don't know. I think it's partly because I really feel kind of guilty that I have this great opportunity to look at me. I have these great covered roots and my clients are struggling. So I feel like I owe it to them a little bit to struggle along with them. But we can, this one is called, I don't even know if it's available anymore, but it's a powder. So you get the idea. It doesn't really matter what the name is. It goes on with a brush, and you simply put it on like that. And then it's got a blending brush too. And then I go ahead to make sure there's no lines and streaks. I blow dry it. So, but my hair is white. So my hair is pretty extreme. It is hard to get, I'll be honest, it's hard to get a really great root cover with this much grow out with as white as my hair is. So there are some that are out there. Like I said, the one you got, is the darker your hair is, the easier it is going to be to find one that's going to cover really well.
Yeah. So I'm just starting. Yeah. So
that's the struggle, is the sideburns.
It's like the little sides. So I had already colored my hair, and so I don't have much grow up, but I tested this one. So this is the dark brown, which covers really nicely on this. You can kind of see the highlights of where the gray is here. But I did notice some of my clients who are blondes who tried this product, and the blonde, it was like completely off. And so you being blonde, I think it would be interesting to, what would you say? Maybe that powder that you were talking about earlier?
So the powder that I've got a really, most of my clients have diffused color like I have. I've got a darker base with a lot of highlights.
Yeah.
So what you're looking to match is your base color, not your highlight. So unless you're literally all blonde, like you're colored bleach blonde, and I mean, there are bleach blondes out there suffering with roots and reverse my problem, which is dark roots with the blonde, right? So there's some spray powders, baby powder. I know that sounds funny, but even that, just softening up some of the roots. And we just say, please, 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 especially for our blondes, do not attempt to color your hair at home.
Your own hair.
That is going to look like a calico cat, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, your colorist is going to be so busy, and with our regular customers, the demand, that we're not going to have the time to work in a color correction.
in everyone. And then I
Oh,
just put this on real quick and just
okay.
share with anyone who wanted to see this product real quick.
Yeah.
So what was, all right, so this is again the dark brown. So I'm
Yep.
just gonna cover up this. And so essentially it's just I mean, you could kind of see how that just
Perfect.
works, right?
Yep.
If you get a
Yep.
little
And
on
then
your skin, like right there, just wash up. But I don't know if you
yep.
saw it, it's just, pretty
Takes it
darn
away.
perfect. But
It's gray away.
it being darker, I think helps with that. And the
Yeah.
blonde, probably a little,
It's a little
right?
bit, yeah, it's a little harder to match. It's like my sister, I was telling you that she has a really white grow out like I do, but we color her hair Swedish blonde. So her grow out's really not that noticeable.
Mm-hmm,
It's the
mm-hmm.
ones that have the dark grow out with their blonde that can be a struggle. Or like me, I've got that medium brown base with a really white. It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it can, you just have to find the right one that works. I
Okay,
could go with a darker one. As long as you're going darker, it's going to be a little more believable.
okay, okay. Perfect. Okay, that's awesome. So would you be open? So our video will tag you on Facebook.
Yeah,
Would you be open to answering questions as
sure. Oh,
people are curious about their gray grow out?
oh,
Or
sure. Yeah, I'll do my best. I mean, and their colorist may have a different idea. So follow up with your colorist. But I'm happy to answer any question
oh, I
they
love
might.
that idea. Actually, reaching out to your colorist if they can
Oh yeah, that we
and seeing
honestly
what.
we got nothing better to do than help our customers right now and
Yeah,
connect. So I'm doing a lot of phone calling, a lot of connecting via Zoom or phone call because
are
that's
you?
what we do all day long is we connect with our customers in the salon. So
Mm-hmm.
not being in the salon, we still, while we miss the creating, we definitely miss the connecting. And so that's been a real important thing for me to be able to connect with my clients right now. And they've
Yeah.
appreciated it. And they've had concerns. What do I do? These roots. And I'm like, I'm right there with you, sister. And I've shared exactly what I shared with you. This is what I do. Real quick, like to touch back to improv. I mean, the root covers right now are going like wildfire. In fact, on Salon Interactive, they've been sold out for so long. They restock, they sell out. They restock, they sell out. So if that's the
Okay.
case and you're having a hard time finding yours, honestly, guys, if you can just find an eyeshadow that's close to your natural hair color, and a little bit of a brush, not the sponge applicator, but a brush applicator, that will help too. So like I said earlier, like any port in a storm right now, it's like we've got to
Yeah.
kind of make do
Yeah.
if
Totally.
need be.
Like, girl, so appreciate you.
Yeah.
Just being in service and being of service
Mhm.
to for those looking for solutions. And there's so many things on YouTube and this and that, but you're like, okay, I want to talk to an actual stylist.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
versus someone who thinks they know or tried it at
Right.
home and it worked for them. I mean, how
Right.
nice to be able to talk about these different products.
Right.
Love the tips for cutting of the bangs and then the
Yep.
side
Yep.
blending. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So thank
Thanks for
you.
asking me. It's all I can do to help out where I can in reference to the beauty industry. Because right now we're all a little sad. We stylists and salon professionals. We want to be right back at it, but we want to be at it safely. So
Yep.
this is a safe way of being back at it. So I appreciate your asking me. Thanks so much.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. And then for those who the boyfriends or the husbands or the sons are saying, I'm ready to buy some clippers, for like, okay,
Oh,
okay, someone, if you want, you see videos where they're doing it themselves or, they're
mhm.
asking someone in the family to help them. And I know I did with my son, and I was like, well, you know what? It's just going to be the best it can be. Let's go on a level 4 or 5, just do a little trim, just enough to get him to his stylist when this is all over. But Any final thoughts on the subject of clippers?
Well, the subject of clippers is, it's a tricky one because I will be honest with you. I haven't ever really seen a novice clipper cut that requires a blend that's any good.
Yeah.
Unless it's a straight buzz and you're using the one length clipper guard, it requires some skill. And my son, he watched me cut his hair for years. And he's a police officer, and he wears a high and tight, and he blends and fades and does a beautiful job. So I tell him all the time, hey, if this whole cop thing doesn't work out, you might want to go into barbering because you're pretty
Yeah.
darn good at it. But
Yeah.
he did watch, and he has 3 sons of his own, and he does his own hair, and he does their hair, and he does a beautiful job. But it takes time to learn it. It's definitely not something you just jump right in there and think you can do it, because those clippers cut fast and they cut short.
Okay.
So one tip is, if you're going to attempt it, start with the longer clipper guard first. And if you need to go from a 4 down to a 3 down to a 2 and just kind of take it slowly. Be afraid of them. You should be. But the old saying, and this is not true of a stylist, but it's definitely true. My great grandfather was a barber, and there's an old saying that the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut is 2 weeks. And that's just kind of a joke. That's obviously not true of a stylist, but in barbering, that's because hair grows out fast and it tends to blend a little bit better as it grows. So if you have already made the mistake of cutting your boyfriend or husband's or son's hair too short, give them a couple weeks. They'll be looking all right.
They'll grow back. They'll grow in. All right.
Right.
Awesome, girl. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bless
You're
you.
welcome.
And
Yes, you too.
when this is all over, if there's people that are looking for a stylist, looking, looking for someone that they could put, their assets in the hands of, how can people find you? And we will put your link, your
Oh,
Facebook
sure.
link. But how can
I've
people
got
find you?
my professional Facebook page is Andrea Lee Harris Studio. And that is where you're going to find me, is on Facebook.
Okay.
Of course, my phone number, I don't know if you want that. That's how all my clients get a hold of me if they need to, is through my phone number, 206-551-3354.
Okay. Awesome. Well,
All right.
again, bless you. Thank you for your
Thank you
time.
so much. All right.
Okay. Take care, babe.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.